This is Wallet Brief, where we break down what actually moved the US economy this week, without the noise. If prices, interest rates, jobs, housing, or taxes are quietly changing your money, this is where you stay informed. Let's get into what really happened this week, and what it means for your wallet. Over the past several months, inflation in the United States has been gradually cooling from the higher levels seen in earlier periods. Price increases slowed in many categories, giving some relief to households after a period of rapid cost growth. In the weeks leading up to this point, inflation trends had become more uneven. Goods prices, especially for items like electronics and household products, showed signs of stabilizing. However, services, including housing, insurance, and healthcare, continued to see steady price increases. This created a mixed environment where overall inflation appeared to be easing, but everyday expenses still felt elevated for many households. This week reinforced that pattern. Recent data and market signals showed modest price increases in certain service-related categories, while goods prices remained relatively stable. Energy prices also contributed to slight fluctuations, depending on regional trends and supply conditions. These developments suggest that inflation is no longer rising sharply, but it is also not fully settled into a low and stable range. Looking at the broader trend, the signal is best described as gradual improvement with persistent pressure. Inflation is moving in the right direction overall, but certain categories continue to hold prices higher, preventing a full return to pre-inflation levels. For households, this means that while the pace of price increases may feel slower, the overall cost of living remains elevated. Grocery bills, rent, and service costs continue to play a major role in monthly budgets. Many families are adapting by being more selective in spending, comparing prices, and focusing on essential purchases. Even small increases across multiple categories can add up over time, making budgeting more important. As a broader cultural reference, rising costs have been reflected across everyday experiences, from dining out to travel, showing how inflation touches nearly every part of daily life. Looking ahead to next week, key indicators to watch include upcoming inflation-related reports, energy price movements, and consumer spending trends. These signals will help determine whether inflation continues its gradual cooling path or begins to stabilize at current levels. For now, the message is clear: inflation is easing, but the impact on your wallet is still very real. That's your wallet brief for this week. These changes don't always make headlines, but they do change how much you pay, save, and earn. We'll be back next week with